Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the Board of Water Commissioners of Monday, June 9th, 2025 at 7 p.m. to order. We are being recorded by DCAM, and the meeting video will be uploaded to YouTube later. Roll call of members present. Todd Melanson, Chair.
Jessica Funioli.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Jessica Funioli, clerk, present.
Go ahead. All right. Roll call of
Do other people see that Todd's having an issue with his internet, or is it just me?
It's him.
Okay.
So Dave Vishon, superintendent, present.
All right, let's try that again. Dave, I believe. Can you hear?
Dave Vishon, superintendent, present.
All right. It doesn't appear we have anybody else. I'm going to take, let's see. I do have a chairman's addition. I am in receipt and have forwarded to the current town clerk, regretfully, the resignation of Nathan Madela from the Board of Water Commissioners. Didn't always agree with Nate. He brought a different perception to the board. I appreciated it. He sat through some rough times. Both he and I were on the board together when we had to announce about PFAS, and we were the only two board members. We've sat through the rate increases and stuff like that. So for whatever agreement, I was always very appreciative of what we did together. So for that, I'll say thank you. And I like I said, regretfully passed on his resignation to the town clerk. So that would be the end of my chairman's addition. Jessica, did you get a chance to review the minutes?
I did. I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the Water Commissioners meeting Monday, May 12th, 2025 as presented.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote. Todd Melanson, Chair. Aye.
Jessica Funioli, clerk, aye.
Okay, that is done. Let's see. Dave, I did in the packet, I did not see any correspondence. I don't think we had any. Okay. Next is reorganize the board. Jessica, do you want to make a motion?
I make a motion that we reorganize the board.
All right. We don't have to do that. It's more of nominating people and stuff like that. So I'll leave it open if
I will nominate myself as vice chair then.
I'll do that. All right. I didn't know if you wanted to be chair. That was all I was.
Oh, no. That's all you, Todd.
Okay. I nominate Jessica Funioli as vice chair. That being said, not exactly sure how to do that with just two of us, but a roll call vote would be Todd Melanson, aye.
Jessica Funioli, aye.
I can't nominate myself.
I nominate Todd to be the chair of the Board of Water Commissioners.
Roll call vote. Todd Melanson, aye.
Jessica Funioli, aye.
All right. And we'll leave the clerk position open. That being said, Dave, let's see, Highland Maple Oak redesign.
Right. So as you know, Highland Street, we've been working on for 3 years. We got 8 houses in 1 hydrant moved over to the 16. So what we have left is 8 houses left.
Mm-hmm.
And 4 connections to the Highland Street main.
Okay.
And then we can abandon from Brookline to Smith Street. So,
Are you going to cut and cap it, Dave?
yes.
Okay.
So, two of the problems that have come up with the research is the constant discoloration on Maple and Bow
Yep.
comes from Highland because it's tied off on the 6th on Highland. The
Okay.
discolored water on Brookline and School Street is tied off on the 6th on Highland. You know,
All right.
not on a big main. That's so you're going from a 6 to an 8. So I
you're
just want to make you aware of that.
So no, so I'm going to back up. Are those all going to get put on the 16 either with this or
Correct.
in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
So Highland Street right now was paved 3 years ago.
Right.
So we can touch it, but there has to be a health emergency. We've already had twice this year of discolored water. We only have to cut about 2 feet into the road, but
Yep.
they may let me do it anyways. But if you declare a health emergency, I'll stop doing services for 1 year and take Bow and Maple and Oak Street off the 6 and put it on the 16. That gives us a direct line from the 16 to the 10 on Main Street, which will give us constant flow. So you won't be stagnating water.
Okay. So the
22 homes.
it's no, I know. The stagnant.
It's the same problem we had in Highland. It was stagnating.
I know it's stagnating. That's my concern is that the chlorination that we're talking about won't get up in there, and
It will.
we'll be left with an issue. If we don't have the flow to pull that up there, it does leave us vulnerable to bacteriological. So I do think it's a health issue. I wish we had someone. I wish Laurie was here or Nelson.
She is.
Oh, she is? I didn't see her originally. Because I don't have it all the way open. Laurie, I apologize. I didn't flip through. So Laurie, can you unmute?
Took me a while to get on. I was trying to get on since 7:01.
Okay. Well, I wasn't blocking you, I promise.
Okay.
So we're talking about having to make a cut into Highland, even though it's only 3 years old.
I did hear that.
So my concern is the chlorination won't get up there. And if the water's stagnant, that's where we're going to be worried about possible bacteriological buildup and things like that. We're going to go on that it is a public health need to make this cut and get those homes off of the old 6. It should have been done when they put the 12 on Highland. Everyone should have come off that old 6. I don't know why they didn't do it. But I would rather get them on the 12 and get them the water the water quality they deserve. And that's going to potentially, keep them safe. Can you let Nelson know, please, and the highway superintendent? And if they need anything from the board in writing, I'll write them a letter stating the board's decision and outlining why and how.
Can you vote on that before you do that?
Yeah,
Sure.
and I would recommend that be in writing.
All right, I can do that tomorrow.
And approve and either that or have Dave do it to send
All
to
right.
Nelson and copy the select board. Highway.
And highway and both me and Jessica. Or I mean, if it's a vote of my board, I'd prefer that part of it come from my board, not just the superintendent. So if we're gonna, first of all, I make a motion that we declare the Highland water main, 6-inch water main, to be an impediment to public health, and I need to think how to put this better, because we haven't had a bacteria hit. We can't necessarily declare it an emergency, but we do know that it's stagnant. Give me a second. I make a motion that we declare the stagnation of the Highlands 6-inch water main to be of concern for public health, and thereby needs to be removed from service at the sections of Maple and Bow.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Todd Melanson, aye.
Jessica Funioli, aye.
And I'll write an email to Harris, to Nelson, and the highway superintendent. And if you could let Veronica know, I would appreciate it, Laurie. Also, did you receive were you on when I was talking about Nathan Matala?
I was not. I did receive a copy of an email that he sent for resigning.
Yes, ma'am. That's all I did. And I thanked him for his service, because he and I sat through some rough times.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I forwarded it on to Harrison, by the way. That being said, Dave, I would, when you finish that, or I'd like to, let us know when you're going to do that. You're going to have to let all the residents know, because at some point they're going to be without water, and I'd like to see the plan on that. Okay. When do you think you'll have that started?
Right now we have to do a tap and sleeve on the 16th. Yeah. So
okay.
That's going to be done by Hydrotech. I already contacted them.
All right. Now you're doing it in this year's budget? Are you doing it in this year's budget or next?
After July 1st.
Okay. It should give you enough time. I would do the notification now, so that if anybody has questions, they can call you and ask you what's going on and why. Right. And then when you do it, Dave, I'd give it a good flush to clear that whole section out, right, if you can.
There's a hydrant that's right there, so we're going to flush everything out of it. That when we switch it over, it's going to be right where it comes off the 16. So okay, we'll be flushing it out of there.
Okay. I think that's all I could think of. But yeah, I would this week maybe put a letter together, letting them know that this is the plan. The purpose is to get rid of the discolored water, and the only way we know how to do it is to get them on the 12 and off of that old 6.
Right. Once it's connected, you'll have a constant flow through there.
The other question I have, Dave, is so you're going to cut and cap it. We got the gates to isolate in that section?
Yes.
Okay. Good. That's good enough for me, Dave. Thank you. That would be, I would say, the end of the promise that we made to that group of people, that we would get that done as soon as we could. And I mean, we've been getting them off piece by piece, but if we can get everybody off it, so much the better.
Right. It's going to take me another 2 or 3 years to finish.
No, but it's the step in the right direction, Dave. So I appreciate that.
I've been working on it for a while, so
we both have, my friend. We both have.
Right.
PFAS lawsuit update 3.3 or 1. Yeah. Is it 3? Okay. Yeah, 3.3.
Right. So I got a word from the state. So the first deposit is going to be about $817,000. Lunenburg already got theirs. Now there's restrictions. It must be used for PFAS remediation. And 2, the funds have to go into one account until town meeting decides where to appropriate it. So we have to make a warrant.
It's Dave, isn't it kind of like the enterprise account? The board decides where it goes, and then we
In a
ask,
warrant article.
and then in a warrant article, and then we ask, we say where we would like it to go, and town meeting votes on it.
Right.
It's the same. That's the process, correct?
Correct. So it only can be done at a annual or a special town meeting. So
Yeah. Well, we're not going to get it. We're not going to get. Well, we won't even get it by then, but we won't have it by this meeting.
right. So when the time comes, I want to put $300,000 to meteor changing,
Okay.
and the balance to loan principal fund. We're gonna have a pay back the loan in installments, and 500. So the 517 will be paying 2 to 3 years of loan payments until more money comes in. So that's where the first check will need to go, because those are the two most important things.
Dave, what do you think it's going to cost you per change out?
About $100,000, and it may per vessel, but it's not gonna. They're not gonna because only one gets used most of the time, and the other one gets used part gets part of the time. I'm trying to split them up, but this is only for the first change out. Just to have plenty of money. If it
No, I get that.
20,000.
I get that. So you've got your lead lag. You're running if you were looking at them, the one on the right is running primarily, and then you're running the one on the left occasionally, correct?
Right. You have to wet it every so many days.
Yep. So when you reach the point of change out on that first set on the lead, that's the one that'll be changed out, and then you'll switch to the other chain.
Right.
Okay.
And then it's going to cost about $100,000 a vessel.
Okay.
So that'll give us 3 change outs. But I'm thinking it's looking probably, I'm hoping 2 to 3 years. But we won't know.
I think that's I think with the content of PFAS, and you won't know the dilution from the Witches Brook. I think well, wait a minute. You're talking 3 change outs over 3 years?
3 change outs over 5 years. But we don't know. We do,
No, I know. I would be more conservative in my estimates. Figure 12 to 15 months per vessel. And a lot of it's going to depend on how hard you run it. If it stays as rainy and wet as it's been, you probably won't be. But I would per vessel, I'd probably do 12 to 15 months and go from there.
Right, but that'll give us 3 years.
Yeah, I'm good with that estimate, but in anything like this, I like to be more conservative than not. So as we go, we'll find out more as we go, but I think that's a good way to start. Well, I don't think we can make a motion on it because we don't have the money yet.
Right. It won't be till we actually get the money in the account that we can actually do something.
No, I know. The second sets of money that come in, if we do have that sort of jump and we get other installments, I would like to revisit putting that other money into an investment fund like I had talked about with.
There's a caveat with that. It has to be put. If it puts in an investment, you have to actually make sure that PFAS is related to it.
No, I understand that, but it is, and I don't know. I'd maybe we can have Hank on at some point to go over that and stuff like that. But no, that's good news. I mean, that
checks from 3M.
Yep.
DuPont,
That's just 3M, Dave?
That's just 3M. There's
So it's
DuPont,
not.
there's Tyco, there's BASF.
I thought DuPont and Tyco were attached to the 3M.
No,
Are they going to pay out separately?
everyone's paying out separately.
Okay. I originally they had talked about putting them all the three initial ones into a pool, and that's where the money would come from.
No,
But,
each one gets a separate check, and
okay.
and then there's 12 more that they're about to settle. Yes, and a few other people. So
So I would say, Dave, too. I'd give yourself some wiggle room. It will.
for the building.
No, I understand that, but that's like $300,000, or it's like 297, isn't it?
Yeah. So
All right. So I
that's
mean,
why
if you have better off getting a 3-year contract now on GAC changeout, and it's we can get a contract in place
well,
with Calgon to supply GAC, because
that's
I'd prefer.
I'll find out about Calgon. And but
And I'd like to see before I'd like to see the contract before us in stuff. So
Right.
just kind of look into that, please.
yeah. So but then the next thing that is going to come up is probably the payment for the building is going to come before we change out.
Yeah, I would say that, because the payments due what, in September?
No, January.
Excuse me, I meant December, but yeah, it's okay.
So,
Sorry.
again, that was a tentative date, so we haven't got nothing's
Yeah.
written in stone. I'm just everything is like up in the
No,
air.
I know. Dave, quick question about the plant. I'm sorry, I'm going off track a little bit since we were talking about it and stuff, though. What's the retainage we're holding on to after, because they've turned it over to us? I think for a year we're supposed to hold on to a certain amount of retainage to make sure there's.
It's only gonna be like 75,000 retainage.
Really?
Yeah, but we're not done yet.
No, I know, but I thought we had a little bit more than that. All
No,
right.
they
Anyways.
reduced it to 1% or something. It got reduced.
Okay. All right. Anything else more on PFAS update?
No,
All right. 4.1, I don't have any updates that were put before me. Um, 5.1 liaison updates and reports. Mrs. Schifrin, do you have anything for us?
I saw that on the agenda and I wondered what I was supposed to say to you. Oh,
Well, if you have, what I would say is if anything that you think the select board is talking about, or you've gotten something, or you have a concern, this is where you bring it up to our board to let us know what you would like us to address, how, or if there is something you would like us to address, or if there are actions that your board has made that you think we should be aware of. This is where you do it. Okay.
okay. So I have not been here for their last two meetings. So my first meeting back is tomorrow at 3:00. So
Okay.
I hope to have, I hope to get used to being able to relay information to you.
Good enough.
Okay.
And if you haven't, I would take Dave up on getting a tour of the plant. Since
I know it was while I was gone. Yeah.
Yeah. It
I,
went.
I will get there. How often do you meet? Every 2 weeks?
Us once a month.
Oh,
Once a month. And
I will get there before the next meeting.
We can get that done. I will say that the grand opening went really well. We had a really good turnout for the first group, the second group, and then it kind of petered out, to be quite honest with you. But there were
how many people do you think that was?
I would say 150 in total, maybe, and that might be pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little disappointed. I thought more residents. We've definitely had a lot of comments. So I would have hoped that they would have come, so we could have answered them and shown them. But we got a lot of acclaim or congratulations of a job well done, both to David and the staff. The staff did an excellent job on the tours explaining things. Dave, as always, was very proud of the building and the work he's done that's associated with it. I will say it was a good event. The only thing that I wish more people had come, just so that they could have seen what we as a community put forward and built together. So it was as much for them as it was, a celebration for us, but also for them. So that's all I'll leave it at.
Okay.
All right.
I will be there before the next meeting.
Awesome. We will go to 6.1 superintendent reports.
Okay. Main Street and Cross Street final chlorination inspections are tomorrow.
Dave, have we let everybody know as best we can?
Yep. But as soon as I have an update, we'll send it out again to the residents just to say it's what the timeline is.
Okay.
All three wells are now going through the treatment plant. The only thing that's left is the two doors for the two wells are being updated and insulated, and security system is being installed at Witch's Brook for cameras, just the same cameras that are at Harbor Trace. There's some adjustments that have to be done in the AC units because every one of them leaked. So that's going to be fixed. They work great. They said there's a setting that has to be done. Reminder for everyone, town meeting is a week from this Wednesday on the 18th.
Yep.
And that's all I have.
Dave, we don't have anything on the agenda, do we, on the town meeting?
Our budget. Then we have two warrant articles.
Okay. No, I
Which is-
forgot. I assumed that our budget got passed at the first one, but because I
It was
wasn't able
up
to
on the
go.
screen, and they closed the meeting. So,
All
and then
right.
you have that, the study for the master plan
Yeah.
and the cybersecurity.
Okay.
Those are the two articles.
It's
All
going to be
right.
at the high school, don't forget.
Right, and it's at the high school,
All right.
and that's all I have.
All right. Is that so everything that's on that sheet, Dave, with the years like Cross Street, are these stuff that we're going to be doing or
Right. That's the same list I've been giving you for the last 4 years, and it's getting smaller. It's just trying to. So next year we're going to clean the tanks. We're going to inspect Cross Street because it's 5 years since we put it back on.
Yep.
And we're just doing the rotation, and
All
then
right.
all the paving and all the windows and the roofs and the doors, just getting everything up and modern.
The tanks. So are we on the 3-year cycle on getting them
We're on a
cleaned?
3 year cycle. It's 3 years next year.
Okay. So are we doing both or you just doing one
Doing both at the same time.
Okay.
It's cheaper.
No, I know it is. What I would say is, so this is the internal clean and inspection.
Correct.
Okay. Are you going to bid that out, Dave?
Bid it out? No. Am I going to get prices? Yes.
All right.
But usually, I think last year was the last time we did it was like $9,000 or $10,000. It wasn't that much.
Okay. I'm used to bigger numbers. That's why. That's fine. Do best practices. Get a minimum of 3 prices.
Right.
I would like to see the pictures of the inside of the tank, so that would be interesting to see, and see the reports if you can. Get them to us when they're done, but we're talking a bit away. So, all right. Anything else, Dave?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. And schedule next meeting, 7.1.
July 14th.
Hold on. Let me check my calendar. There we go. There it is. Oh, my phone updated and I can't get you. Got it. Okay. I hate this thing sometimes. Let's see. All right. That works for me. Same time.
Same time, same place.
All right. That works for me. Jessica, can I have a motion, please, on 7.2, 7.3, and 7.4?
I make a motion that we review monthly abatements and adjustment lists, review and approve end of month reports, sign reports and bill payable warrants out of session.
Second. Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote. Todd Melanson, aye.
Jessica Funioli, aye.
Motion has been voted on and passed. I make a motion to adjourn the Townsend Board of Water Commissioners of June 9th at 7:35 p.m. as my cats have a kerfluffle.
I second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Roll call vote. Todd Melanson, aye.
Jessica Funioli, aye.
They literally ran up my leg and across my lap. So
that's why you smiled.
such is the life of Zoom, I guess, at home. I apologize to everybody. You all have a good weekend. I gotta go like steel puncture ones. Anyways, y'all take care.
Good night.
Good night.